Thank you for being here, Tom. Can you tell the voters a little bit about yourself?
Sure. And Bill, thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. Again, my name is Tom Spagel. My wife Danielle and I have 4 children. We have a couple that are about out of college, and that's why really I'm kind of concerned more than anything else. We have one daughter who's about to graduate high school, and one's a freshman in high school. Grew up in Erie, born and raised, went to East High. Right after high school, I went into the Air Force for 4 years. Finished that, came back to town. Went to Gannon, got my degree in economics. From there, I went back into the Army, of all places, so I got dumber as I went. And spent 25 years in the military. Along the way, I got my master's in business from Gannon as well. And had a great time in the military. As you know, you learn an awful lot in the military, and I loved it. During that time, I had a number of deployments, had about 9 years of active duty, 25 years total, most of it in reserves though. 2 years, actually 2 tours, about 28 months over in Iraq, where I received the Bronze Star for doing some good, fun Army stuff, but that's something else. And I own a small business called Stanganelli's. We make pasta and pepperoni bowls. And with that, we've had the opportunity to provide jobs and create economic development within the east side of town, and that's something that I think we should do more of and do throughout the city. I've had the pleasure of serving on the Erie School Board for the last almost 8 years. We started that at $26 million. We were able to get our finances squared away, and now we are financially sound, at least for the foreseeable future.
Cool. That's quite a background. So how do you think your experience or experiences make you the right fit for Erie's next mayor? In essence, why should people vote for you on May 18th?
Very good answer. Again, I do have quite a bit of leadership experience, and that's what Erie needs. I consider Joe a friend. He's a nice guy, but being a nice guy isn't the main ingredient for being a good mayor. You have to be decisive. You have to make good decisions, particularly when it comes to finances. And we can see through the last 3+ years that the financial decisions that were made on behalf of the city are some of the worst that's been made in a long time. I can just point to the water deal that is going to put my grandchildren, who aren't even born yet, are going to be strapped for the next 40 years, up to $55 million left on the table. That's just a bad decision, among other decisions that need to be made in the better interest for the community.
For being someone who knows you and served with you, I completely agree. What would be your top priorities if elected?
Well, more than anything else, we need to completely restructure our financial plan. As it stands right now, we're headed towards what's called Act 47. Act 47 is essentially what we had to do in the school district, where we had to go into the financial receivership type of structure. As it stands right now with the PFM, who is essentially the state's consultant to come in to take a look at how we are financially, it shows that we will be between $9 and $12 million short the day that Joe Schember, if he were to be reelected, the day that he gets out of office, we will be between $9 and $12 million short. And we need to cut that now. And the way we do that is by cutting spending. We really have to cut our spending, as the spending has been significantly increased in payroll and purchasing over the last 3 years, more than it's been in decades. And that has to be curtailed. So that'd be one. Another thing is we really have to increase the number of jobs and opportunities for our community. As you know, you have young children, some out in college and some are about to get out of high school. We have to have jobs for our students, for our children, for our community as a whole. Just take a look at the population. So you and I were in high school, there were about 115,000 people in Erie. Now we're down to below 94,000 people. And the reason is, when the jobs go, we have to be able to get them back, retain the jobs. But more than anything else, I really want to create our own businesses. And we can do that with a variety of ways, and I know we have limited time, but I would like to take a good portion of the federal money coming in for the COVID relief fund and create blocks of $100,000 loans at a very small interest rate so we can create jobs and opportunities for our citizens And that's one of the things that we certainly need to do. And another way we can just create jobs and really help with economic development is through the CRIZ. That's the City Revitalization Improvement Zone. It has worked in Lancaster. It's a great way to develop industry, a great way to develop job and opportunity for all of our citizens.
Okay. Well, specific to jobs and growth, what are two creative ways that you believe would create opportunities for our youth who are either in high school, like my kids, or in higher education, like yours?
Sure. Well, I tell you, I spend quite a deal of time in education. Between the school board, fortunately I have my master's degree, and I've even taught at both Gannon and at Edinburgh, and I really enjoyed doing that. But college isn't for everybody. Higher education is a great avenue for a whole lot of people. But more than anything else, just look in Erie. I think we really need to develop the apprenticeship programs. We need to ensure that people have an opportunity to make a livable wage, and that's through education. Everybody thinks, oh, you have to go to college, which is great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a great thing. But for Erie, as I'm traveling around, as I meet with so many people that have critical skills, sure, they need some college graduates, but what they really need are welders. They need plumbers. They need the craftsmen. The union leadership that I speak to are essentially begging for people to come on board. One of the good things that we're doing with the school district is I know there's going to be a shortage of school teachers, and we're trying to create our own through the Erie School District at Erie High. We have a great relationship with Edinburgh, and we're really trying to foster that so we can create our own, so we can have actually more of a diverse segment of our teachers that are better representing our student base. So that's something we need to do. And I'd really like to recruit more and retain more businesses here in Erie. We have so much to offer. I mean, just between Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Cleveland, our infrastructure is set up for this, and I think that logistically is a great place to have businesses. And another way to be able to recruit and retain is by decreasing the amount of red tape it takes to actually have a business and start a business here in Erie. I've known personally people that have just been frustrated and have gone to other cities because there's just too much red tape to start a business here in Erie.
Well, we both know that Erie is a beautiful place. What do you think is our most underutilized asset?
Oh, I'd say our people. And I just know that, say, through the military. I've traveled quite a bit with the military, and I can see the work ethic we have here in Erie is second to none. We have the skills, we have the abilities, and we just have the knowledge to just work well. Just look at, I know from at one point when I was out at American Sterilizer, now they're down in Mexico, how many of our skilled workers have had to go down there and teach these people not in what to do, but how to work. Our people in Erie work well, and we need to use our assets to the best of our ability. And we need to be able to have a leader that's going to not hinder these employees from getting good jobs. And that's kind of like what was happening now.
Okay. I know our time's running near the end here, but two more questions.
Sure.
What do you think is your biggest accomplishment, or the biggest accomplishment has been on the Erie School Board?
Well, when I first got on board, we couldn't even make our payroll. We were $26 million in debt. Now, I know one of the things that I've been very proud of in my business is in 28 years, we've always made payroll, and that's a big deal. Even if I didn't get paid, my employees always got paid. But that wasn't the case in the school district, that you well know. You were a school teacher at the time, and you had to tell your wife, man, this is a scary situation. I may not get paid. To the point where we weren't even paying our bills. We had some local vendors that were very cooperative with us, and we weren't paying the bills. So we were able to financially restructure our whole district. Now, we went down, and through the help of a number of people, particularly our State Senator Dan Laughlin, so I certainly appreciate him being able to deliver, because he was the one that really delivered us the $14 million a year that keeps on coming. And we were able to now be in a position where we're financially able to work with what we have. Now, with that, we're able to, more than anything else that I'm very proud of, is changing our curriculum, updating our curriculum, making sure we're cognizant for time here, updating our curriculum so this way we're not in a point where I know that there were a number of textbooks that didn't even have, like President Clinton in it. For a lot of these young people, they don't know who Clinton is, and we need to be able to have updated and correct books. We have to be able to remain competitive in our salaries to our staff. We're at a point now where it's so difficult to get employees. We can't have all of our staff heading out to Fairview or Mill Creek or somewhere else. We have to stay competitive, so we've been able to do that. And something else is we've been able to really improve our infrastructure. The Erie School District has had so little investment in its infrastructure and so long, it was almost embarrassing. I know when my daughter was swimming at Erie High, the pool was embarrassing. It was bad. Now we can put some money into the schools. In fact, millions of dollars we're putting into the schools, and this way we can remain somewhat competitive with that. And I really appreciate what our administration has kind of focused on, keeping everybody warm, safe, and dry. That's really important. You can't get properly educated if you're not warm, safe, and dry. So I'm very, very pleased with that.
Great. That was a lot of hard work, I know, going through it. The final question. If people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do so?
Yeah, good point. And I'm going to have to read some of these here. Please email me at info@Spagel4Mayor. Also, we have a website, spagelformayor.com, and through Facebook. Now, I'm not a big Facebook person, but I know through Facebook if it's Spagel for Mayor on Facebook. I'm not quite sure how that is, but please look. And you can always give me a call at my office. Again, I own Stanganelli's. We, plug for that. We make the best pepperoni balls and pasta in town, and we are always welcome to have you give us a call there. That phone number is 456-0965. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you asking me these questions. And more than anything else, Erie, I'd really appreciate your support with this election coming up. As I've said in the past, Erie's not at a crossroads. Erie's quite literally at the edge of a cliff when it comes to finances. And we really take a look at the financial structure. We have to be able to prevent ourselves from going through Act 47, and that is essentially saying we're going to be bankrupt where the state takes us over. We've had to do that through the school district, and that's no fun. So please, I'm begging for your vote, not for me. To be honest, I don't need a job. I love doing what I need, or I love doing what I do. But I feel the only way we're going to be able to save Erie is by having solid leadership, looking at the tasks at hand, and accomplish those goals. So I appreciate it. Thank you, and please vote for me on May 18th. Thank you.